Arratsaldeon, jaun Andreok, eta eskerrik asko gu hemen gonbidatzeagatik. Ladies and gentlemen, governor, mayors, that's the sound of one of the oldest languages in the world, the sound of the language of Bilbao, which is called Basque. Thank you very much for inviting us, and thank you very much for letting us share with you our dream for the city of Bilbao. That's something that I always say when starting to talk about the transformation of Bilbao. Bilbao was created to be a city reinventing herself once and once again. Saying it in short, I would say that we have the ability of making an opportunity of a problem. And maybe that's one of the secrets of the transformation of the city. I know that a lot of you know where Bilbao is located. But let me tell you, just for those who haven't visited us yet I say because I am inviting all of you to visit us, and I hope I will be able to enforce with my presentation your willingness to visit the city. Bilbao is small in size, but very big in ambition. We are up in the north of Spain, and we are the economic capital, not only of the Basque region, but also of all the north of Spain and way out to France. We are not only as the economic reference of the Basque region, but also as the economic reference of all the north. We have the highest tax of Europe in terms of university students, and also in university and degrees, and maybe one of the highest GDPs of all Europe. But we also have a history. As the former mayor of Malmö said, we are part of what we were, and our actual life is because someone was previously. And that's something that we don't have to forget. Where do we come from? If we are the center of the world, not the city in the center of the cities, but the center of the world is in Bilbao. I'm sorry for Malmö. We work. Sorry to say that, but that's how it works. I think something is missing here. It's a slide missing here. But don't worry, I will continue. Bilbao has got 3,400 inhabitants, but a metropolitan area of 1,002,000 people. It's open to the world, first by the sea, with the port of Bilbao that you can see here, also with an international airport, which is just out of the slide, and with a highway that goes directly to Europe through France. And also by our football team, because we've got the Athletic Bilbao. Do you know which is the difference of that team from the rest of the football teams in Spain? Only local people from the Basque Country play in that team. No foreigners are being paid to play that. Why? Belonging. Belonging, the feeling of belonging, the proud of being yourselves. Don't forget that. That's really, really important. And don't think that we are not open to people coming to Bilbao. Whoever who lives in Bilbao, who grows in Bilbao, who works in Bilbao, is from Bilbao. And he will or she will always have a place in our city. and also in our team, of course. The city of Bilbao was created in the 14th century. It was a port, really. It wasn't even a town nor a village. It was a port. Why? Because the kingdom of Castile in Spain had a lot of wool, and he had to sell it, and he had to move it to Europe and even to America later. And how was that if in Castile there is no way to the sea? That's why they created a city of merchants in the port of Bilbao. And it became very quickly prosperous and turned from a port into a bill. But the wool of Castile was of no interest for the rest of Europe, for the rest of the world, so we had an economical crisis. And that's how, in the 19th century, we became into a city, a village, a bill of miners and iron casters, taking advantage of the iron casters surrounding the city. We couldn't manufacture it, just sell it, using what had been our previous richness, the port of Bilbao, and selling it and trading with it. Once again, we were really prosperous. But what happened? Once again, the crisis. Nobody was any longer interested in the iron. So what did we do? We took advantage that we had the iron, and we started in the 20th century with shipbuilding. It was so prosperous that there were many families who became really wealthy in the city. And what did they do? They created banks. The Bank of Bilbao, the Bank of Biscay. Nowadays, all of you have heard about Bank Santander Bilbao Vizcaya, one of the biggest financial banks of the world. It was created by families who wanted to contribute with their wealth to the developing of the city. So we were lucky. We had the industry and we had the financial power. But something else came with all that and big development, industrial development, one of the quickest one in Europe. We also suffered from the crackdown. We started to have social problems, easy money, low qualification, loss of interest of our manufacturing products in the international market. And together with that, migrants, social movements, economy turned on, shanty towns, unemployment. A broken society with unemployment rates higher than 27%. 27% in those days. And even if that was quite a problem, we also had more. What happened? The biggest floods that we had ever known in the city came, and we were dying, absolutely dying. The city was devastated. All the old city was disappeared under the water. Drug addiction was in our streets, and even the terrorists. Some of you will remember ETA. ETA was a terrorism organization that was based in the Basque Country, and because of political matters that can always be and must always be solved by the relationship, by interviewing, by dialogue, we were suffering a very, very huge attack of terrorism. And it wasn't helping at all. Sorry. It wasn't helping us at all. So, in 1983, the worst of the city was being suffered. It was a dramatic situation. but we were strong and we were united. That was the clue. That was the clue of what I am going to show you next. The big transformation of Bilbao has been possible because all the governments have been able, for once in their life, to talk together and to make together. Spanish government, European government, regional government of the Basque Country, provincial government, Bilbao City Hall, companies, private, social agents, population, all of us together thinking that we have to do something, otherwise we die. Almost 30 years later, this is the shape of the city, with less than 11% of unemployment. Less than 11%. Do you remember? We are coming from over 27% of unemployment. But we, public and private sector, we have been able to work together to transform the city in what it is nowadays. We have been able to cut off unemployment and we have been able to change it. I know that you have recognized, most of you, the Guggenheim. The effect Guggenheim is called the transformation of the city. I can tell you, we are very lucky, but the Guggenheim effect shouldn't be successful if it hadn't been because we were able to make a holistic change of the city, including the citizens, the inhabitants, the population, because it's a museum. It's a nice building, and we've got many nice buildings, because we started rebuilding the city from the floods, and we wanted to have the best of the best. And working together, we were able to afford Zaha Hadid, Foster, Norman Foster, Santiago Calatrava, Frank Gehry in the Guggenheim. But what else? What should we visit in Bilbao? Because Bilbao was great. Bilbao was polluted. The river was smelly. Who was going to visit us? Nobody. We couldn't imagine that. And even we thought that our mandatories, that our politicians were crazy. Why don't you continue investing in heavy industry? Because there was no future for the heavy industry unless in the center of the city. We needed something new. We needed something new. And you see that we have succeeded on that. So you could maybe say that Bilbao is near to be perfect, no? Because we have been recognized by many different prizes of any kinds. Because now we hold very different events, music awards, smartest cities in the world for 1990, host city Eurocopa next year. Well, no, this year. This year we're in the 2020 nowadays. Yeah, but nothing is perfect. Nothing is perfect. We must continue. We must continue changing. The transformation of Bilbao is not finished. You know that when we are walking around the city and one of the inhabitants, one of the citizens approaches the mayor and they say, "Mayor, congratulations. We've got a lovely city. You've done it very well. Yes, let's maintain it." You think the mayor is happy? No, he gets angry. And he says, "No, that's not the way. We don't have to be thinking that the transformation has finished and the future is secure. We have to continue improving. We have to be thinking about Bilbao of the year 2030, of the year 2050. Why? Because we have to learn. We don't have to wait for a new crisis to let us move once again. No. Let's think. Let's think together and let's start working on the future. And let's do it together, because our population wants to be part of the decisions that we are taking for the city. And that's why we are working on a new project. We are working on the new city, but what kind of new city are we trying to build? We want the city to be liable. Liable, why? Because we owe it to the youth people. Because we can't leave them the ruined city that we received from our ancestors. No, that can't happen once again. We want it to be innovative. Innovative in terms of industry, yes, but based in new industries, clean industries. And we have chosen 3 main sectors: advanced manufacturers or advanced services for the industry, cultural and creative industries. Why? Because we've got our own personality and we want to develop it, and digital industries 4.0. But we want this city also to be welcoming, open to the world, sharing what we have learned and learning from all of you, all of us together, open to anyone who wants to build his or hers personal project in the city of Bilbao. Healthy. Why? Because we've got an elderly population, and we want that elderly population to have a very high quality of life, but we also want the children to have a very healthy future. Equal in terms of religion, equal in terms of sex, equal in terms of studies, equal in terms of cultures, equal in terms of age. Sustainable in terms of air, clean air, water, quality of water. The water that we have in the tubes of Bilbao, the drinkable water, is said to be one of the best ones of Europe. But sustainable also in terms of CO2 emissions. We are building and researching for new energy sources so that we are neutral and we contribute with it to a better environment. And also sustainable in terms of electricity, of mobility, electric mobility, cycling, walking, improving all that. And where are we developing this? We've got a pilot which has got a very difficult name. I know that. It's called Zorrotzaurre in Basque. But we are going to call it Set Island, which is easier for everybody. It used to be a peninsula, and we turned it into an island. Why? Because of the floods. We didn't want to suffer again the floods. So first thing that we did with that place was to turn it into an island so that the water had 2 ways to get out to the sea in case we got heavy rains. Second thing that we did, the small and last heavy industries that were located there, we took all of them out of the city. Why? Because they were polluting. And we are looking for a new kind of city, a new kind of industries. We don't regret about that. And we did that together with the private industries and the private companies that were located there. We helped them to find a new place. They have the offices in Bilbao. They keep the places in Zorrotzaurre. But now they are not pouring to the river all those dirty things. Do you see? That's the center of the island. That's what we want it to be. And we want it to be a live work play district. Why? Because we want people to live there. And we want people to work there. Because people, new families, new generations want to be near their working places, near their families, because they want to take advantage of family and of their leisure time. We are basing on knowledge. How? I saw with you the stadium. But here, we are building a new medicine faculty, the public university of the Basque Country, one university. And we've got the engineering school here, just 5 minutes walking from the island. Already in the island, we've got the University of Mondragon. I'm sure a lot of you have heard about Mondragon, cooperative and social economy, no? They are starting with 300 students next September right here in the center of the island, together with the town hall of Bilbao. We have been working on a European project so that we are going together with them. We have regenerated one of the industrial buildings, and they are going to start with the academic project there. And they are already thinking about another project here where we are going to build an intelligence center for elderly research and development of solutions. But we've got another university here, DigiPen University, private university of the video games, with only 3 locations in the world. One very near from Portland, another one in Singapore, and the one for Europe is already here with 300 new students from 17 different countries in the world. And here we've got another university, University of Design, Kunsthal, part of the European Institute of Design. They are started in next May with their studies here. They have moved from their elder location and they are coming here. We are going to build here, together with the Basque Country government, a new vocational training institute. Why? Because vocational training, a good vocational training, is needed to develop what universities and researchers develop. We need them to make machines, to make real things, so that with here, an urban industrial park, which is divided here and here, new industries are arriving to the city, looking for those talented young people who are in all those faculties and training centers. But that's not all of it, because just in front, we've got the economic and financial faculties of the Public University of the Basque Country. And right here, they are building the private university of Deusto from the Jesuits is building a new faculty, the second new faculty in the city of medicine. And the campus is a little bit farther. As you can see, in 25 walking time, we've got 6 different universities working all of them together, trying to create an ecosystem where the new industries, the new entrepreneurships are developing, or we want and we will help them to develop their project. Knowledge is basic for the future. That's the new economy we are looking for. And creativity has got a place over there, because if we want it to be live work and play, we can't forget creativity. Cultural industries and cultural services are really, really important for 2 reasons: economic development and also as a cultural heritage. Never lose it, because there can be many nice buildings, there can be many nice universities, but if all of them are the same, it's not worth. At least I think so. We are trying also to build new leisure place in the city and environment. This island, we intended to be absolutely free of CO2 emissions. We are working together with the university through a European project for new ways of generating electricity for the island. Of course, all the public transportation of the island will be absolutely electrical, and we are improving new rails for bikes and cycling. Why are we doing all this? For the main reason: citizens. Those are the players of this film. That should be our force. We are working for the future of persons. We are working with persons. that's the focus of our project. And how can we do it? Remember that I say we were working different governments, we were working in companies, we were working social agents, and we were working together with participatory projects. I have no time, but there is a very nice one that I invite you to learn about in our web, which is called City of Values. And they are not the values of the mayor. They are not the values of the team. They are the values of the city. And they have been declared by a participatory process that has taken us 2 years. But now we've got the guideline. And it is true that maybe in 3 years we won't be there. But it doesn't matter. It's not the city of the mayor, Juan María Burto. It's not the city of the deputy mayor, Sagaru뒤. Someone will come back, but the project of the city must continue. We have to be continuist. That's very important, because 4 years are important in a political career. 40 years are important in a person's life, but in a city life, 40 years are nothing. Big transformation need of long-term projects. And of course, never forget that the city's progress is measured in regard of its last citizen, not of its first citizens. Thank you very much, and I kindly invite you to join us for this project.